Well, the options reviews are making a grand return with our fall lock-in schedule. So, you know, the last 4 days in a row, including today, had atrocious market opens. For whatever reason, the first 20 minutes to 30 minutes has been extremely choppy, and usually that won't happen more than 2 days in a row. It's been happening like every day lately, which is, I mean, I'm still very green over the course of last week. Only one red day, which is Friday. But the reason I've been green is because at the very end of the hour, I get lucky and finally my bias plays out and I get a huge win. It didn't happen today. Today, actually, I believe ended on a loss, which made it break even. Um, Not bad trading today by any means, but we'll go over the trades and the analysis and all those things. As far as the overall pre-market sentiment is concerned, I'm mildly bullish. I have no pivots near on ES nor NQ. NQ's in supply and kind of chopping up, but it's in an uptrend, so I'm not pretty medium on NQ and leaning a little bit bullish on ES. Not really anything. Um, Not really anything bias wise. However, I did notice we have a perfect, well, it's actually a perfect triple bottom, but I'll just call it a perfect double bottom here. So I'm bearish for this if we drop. You guys know me and perfect double bottoms. They have a very high win rate. Spoiler alert, this one didn't break while I was trading, unfortunately, but that's kind of where I'm at. Now I'm like, okay, that's the most major bias I have. The issue is we have heavy demand in the way. We have 5 demand zones, and two of them, I mean, we have a 4 hour, a 2 hour, and a 1 hour. Those are pretty strong zones. We have even more demand zones on NQ. But we invalidate a majority of this bounce. I will be able to enter, but I'm more than likely going to enter half size because it's probably going to bounce, and I like more confirmation. But here's the first candle on market open, and this is a great trade. I have to enter. I enter half size though. Everything going for this trade, we have invalidated a majority of the move. We have a perfect double bottom. I think this actually broke the 61.8. I'm not sure. It's breaking under the 61.8 fib. It is a hell of a lot weaker than NQ, and NQ is putting in a huge selling wick. But again, we have really have demand. I don't know where NQ is going to go. I went half size. The plan is, all right, ES stays weaker than NQ. I will average down on a bounce, or I will average up roughly down here because by this point NQ will be here, and I can anticipate a further drop. So that's the game plan for the first trade. And the first trade was green by like 20% in the beginning. Let me pull up my options channel so I don't mess any of this up. Green by like 20% in the beginning, but we could put in a super bullish buying wick here on ES and even a bigger one on NQ. So I'm thinking it's going to bounce. Well, it does bounce, and now I'm waiting for NQ to sweep this higher high bearishly. But on this candle, ES actually starts trying to catch up. I decided to stop out at the very close of this candle, half size. I wasn't really looking forward to taking a loss because Friday was our first red day in a while. It was 0-3. Just don't know when the last time that was. But it's pretty invalidated. I mean, NQ's completely bullish. I was hoping that NQ would bearishly sweep high of day. That did not happen. We invalidated a majority of the entire drop on ES. It's just not worth me averaging down because at this point, I'm fairly confident that ES is going to get to pre-market high. Now, I'm not fast enough, nor is it great psychology to just, close out of one trade, then flip sides and enter another trade immediately. So I didn't even consider entering calls. But if I wasn't triggered into puts, like that, if that perfect double bottom wasn't there, this is a call trade here. And because it's a call trade, I have no business of being in put. So that's the first loss. I lost, I don't know, $70 a contract, I believe it was. What was it? What's the math on that? Let me see. Was it 32%? Hang on. No, 24%. $70 a contract, contracts for $290. So not bad, 24%, but on a half size position. So that's a small loss. It's a pretty small loss. But anyways, I can't really get triggered into anything, at least at the moment. I know if we come back down, I'll be willing to re-enter. Well, we get to the high and we sweep it. We have a selling wick. NQ's running. I can't enter calls, unfortunately. And then this candle happens. I'm like, oh, okay. It's random as hell. I mean, it was already super bearish when I entered this, and then it became super strong bullish, and now just on a dime. Anyways, I entered puts again before this candle closed, roughly up here. It's the exact same trade. I entered half size again. I don't need to explain myself for this trade. This trade's the same as the last trade, plus a bearish liquidity sweep, and it's even weaker. So I re-entered half size at the exact same contracts at 2.5. I was up 30%, but I swept the lower low and I stopped out on this candle. So you can already see what kind of morning this is. It's what the hell are we doing, right? And typically I'm okay at avoiding chop, but this is what's been going on lately. It's been chopping, but that's more of hindsight, right? As I'm trading this live, these candles are massive with a ton of volatility. I mean, just this one candle, this candle is a 6.5 point candle, right? 7 points if you include the wicks on ES. That is a lot for one candle, like a lot for one candle. And keep in mind, I trade the first hour of market open. Statistically speaking, that is the least likely time for price action to chop because it's so volatile. Now, we did get nice liquidity sweeps, but the speed at which we got them, it's impossible for me to take profits and go long and all those things. So starting off the day 0-2, unfortunately. But both the losses are half size. Now, I closed that one at around 1.9. Same thing, 20-something% loss. And I was kind of planning on entering QQQ calls because, look, the NASDAQ's stronger. It's bullishly consolidating. Where exactly did I fill? Oh, this looks great on NQ. Right now I have something, right? We're starting to kind of bullishly consolidate. ES is chopping down in demand. I finally have something. Filled my calls here on QQQ. Sorry, I filled my calls actually here. I filled them right at the close of this candle. During this candle, I said if it gets a buying wick, if it closes with a big buying wick, I'm filling, and I did. A little bit early, but it's the same thing, right? Oops. Bullish consolidation below the high. NQ's a hell of a lot stronger. I'm now bullish on ES because we've made lower lows in demand, but there's a chance that ES may want to sweep demand again before it comes up. If that's the case, then I put my stop loss kind of far for that. I believe my stop loss was a little bit lower than this, but I entered at roughly 49 cents. It was a good average for a second. Then ES dumped back down, and now I have a problem. I can't take SPX puts because we're chopping down in demand and I'm in these QQQ calls now. Well, we end up coming up on the NASDAQ. I took profits here, which is pretty cool. And then I was looking for at least this high on ES. See how random this is? Like right here, I thought it was over. I'm like, well, ES is chopping down, but it looks like this is a perfect double bottom on ES now. We have two perfect double bottoms down here, and bearish to break, and down here, and bearish to break. I thought I was going to stop out of the rest of this trade. My trim, honestly, was pretty small. And then at 6:51, which is a random time, my time, this candle happened. Again, there's not much I can do. ES is chopping down in demand. I do have some decent bias. I'm bearish for the low day to break. But now the stars are kind of aligning a bit. Okay, NQ is a hell of a lot stronger than ES. I'm hoping that NQ can get all the way up to this supply. If NQ can get all the way up to this supply, ES is gonna drag ES up at least to some kind of higher high because it's got a bunch of highs. It's got this one, this one, this one. If ES can at least get some higher high and NQ even pulls back from supply, I'll now have a bearish liquidity sweep on ES. Will invalidate most of the move, and I can take a clean trade through the perfect double bottom and hold runners for this one as well. So the stars are starting to align here. This is looking good, and that's what I'm hoping for. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it happened. I'm like, okay, This is good. I was actually bullish for ES to get all the way to pre-market high because this looked good. So I did leave a tiny runner position on QQQ. I dumped it right when it rejected supply. And this trade got 61% gains. And just like that, I'm green on the day. Because that was a full-size trade. My last two losses were half size. So those losses were pretty small. 61% is what I got on this QQQ trade. And then we got this candle. I filled it. Just the plan, right? That's what I'm going for. It's good. Took heavy profits right here. Left a quarter of my position left, maybe slightly bigger than a quarter of my position left, and stopped out of my quarter position when it got to my break-even area right here. Even though it wasn't break-even, I sold that last quarter for a loss. I was able to get, 32% gains on the sell, but I sold that last quarter of a position for a loss. So I averaged roughly about 25%. So I'm green on the day. I'm doing pretty decent on the day now. Green on the day. That was a full-size trade as well. So these last two trades were full-size trades on two half-size trades. Green on the day. And I'm hoping for one more. This looks good on ES. This is multiple bullish liquidity sweeps in very strong demand. If we can get up to here, around 65.05-ish, this will look great for calls. It looks like today's turning around. Lately, we've been chopping a lot at market open, but then we end up having some kind of run. And keep in mind, I only trade the first hour, and then my second and third hour for my live futures trading. When did I fill those calls? I filled them at 7:07. I filled them right here. Now, I went half size on it, though. I filled them like up here. I didn't get that good of a fill. Went half size just in case I wanted to retest demand. Otherwise, I'm averaging up at 65.06. Now, I could have entered QQQ, but I had a feeling ES was going to finally become stronger. It didn't. But I averaged down after it hit demand. Did not get a very good average. I entered initially with 2.7 half size, and then I added at 2.35. So my average was like 155-ish, something like that. My average was not 150s, 250s. It was like 252.5, something like, I don't know. It was in the 250s. We'll just call it 255. That was my average. And it failed here. I stopped out here. And it's like it's pretty unfortunate. My hope was that ES would be stronger than NQ. NQ will pull back a little bit. I'd average down when ES hits demand. And we put in a nice bull pennant here. It did not do that. It did not do that at all. We fell, as you can see. I thought we were going to sweep the perfect double bottom. At this point, I pretty much wrapped up my options trading. I said I was break even on the day. I'm slightly green, right? I'm slightly green. 3 losses, 2 wins. 2 of those losses were half size, though. 2 of those, both wins were full size, but one of those wins, a quarter of that position was sold for loss. So I pretty much ended like very slightly green, like enough to buy dinner, right? So pretty much break even day for me. And I closed my options brokerage in preparation for futures trading here because I was nowhere near any trades, right? Of course, if we came all the way back up, it is a fantastic trade. I'm trading futures in 10 minutes. It's probably just going to go for this perfect double bottom first. Surely I'm not going to miss anything. So I closed my broker like 7 minutes before I start futures trading. No, I actually closed it. Yeah, like I closed it like right here. Like 6 minutes before I started trading futures. Figured we're nowhere close. But this chopping down is pretty bullish. Very bullish, actually. I'm kind of hoping we get that perfect double bottom, but we do have a falling wedge in demand. Very bullish setup. And then we get this. I'm like, no. So unlucky. This was my trigger here. I'm supposed to get in right here, but I can't because I start trading futures at 7:30 and I close my options broker. I close Thinkorswim. So I had to miss this trade, unfortunately, was very annoyed about that. But I did send it out as a TA alert. I said in all caps, I am very, exactly what I say. I said very in all caps, bullish here for new high of down, yes. A lot of you guys made good money on it. I missed out, but that was the end of my options day. So I missed out on that trade. Couldn't take it on futures, couldn't take it on options, just my luck, right? So yeah, this morning was pretty shitty. It could have been a lot worse, but it is what it is. And as you can see, of course, at the end of the day, or much later in the day, we did end up getting to that perfect double bottom on ES. I wasn't crazy. Um, we did get there beautifully, but I'm gonna do my futures trading review as well. But as you can see, I don't post my futures trading review, but as you can see, I trade from 7:30 my time to 9:30, and you guys knowing me, you can assume how my trading went. My arch nemesis is directional chopping, like that. So I didn't do good on futures today either. It's not that I didn't do good. My price action didn't do good with my strategy. Hopefully tomorrow's way better. But as far as execution, stopping out, I thought it was fine today. I'm just really sick and tired. I showed you guys screenshots of every morning so far. Here's this morning. See how choppy it is at open? Let's go back. Here's Friday morning, first 30 minutes. Friday, I didn't make money on it because it broke against my bias. I was bullish and it broke bearish. You know, it's very rare that broadening tops play out. I don't give them any credit, and this one finally played out. I guess it was due. But anyways, first 20 minutes, horrendous chop, just like today. Let's go to Thursday. What happened on Thursday? Oh, you guessed it. Horrendous chop until 7:30. Until 7 o'clock. First 30 minutes, horrendous chop, just like the previous 2 days. What about this day? Almost the entire first hour. The only reason today was super profitable is because it broke to the upside within the first hour of trading, and of course I was very bullish because chopping down is bullish. As you can see, I lost money today on NQ because chopping down is bullish and it broke to the downside. But as you can see, again, it's been 4 days in a row. Tuesday did not chop at market open. I mean, even Tuesday did chop at market open, but after, like it went on a pretty good run, and then the last half of market open, it chopped a ton. So that one still chopped, but just later. But it's literally been 4 days in a row we open with a ton of chop. It's like, how many days in a row could it possibly do the same thing, right? And again, I've been trading for 5 years. Doesn't happen very often. So again, I always bet on the higher probability outcomes over the large series of events. And on days where the lower probability outcomes play out, I will lose money. So I always bet on the higher probability outcomes over the large series of events, which is weeks, months, and years of price action. So hopefully tomorrow is less like it was today, at least ES-wise at open. But with that being said, does anyone have any questions regarding any of my analysis this morning? No, everyone's good? All right, sweet. Well, I will let you guys go. I'll let you guys know when this recording is posted. These are going to start being posted on YouTube as well. And then we have the futures trading review here in about an hour. So I will see you guys for that. But all right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for attending.